What's happening, Bieber fans? Get ready for a rapid-fire update that you absolutely cannot miss. The news cycle is moving at lightning speed, and we're here to break down the biggest stories as they happen. First up, a major player's future is being discussed, with a new contract blueprint emerging. Then, we're heading to the gridiron for some AFC team updates and player insights. After that, get ready for a surprising team-up that's got everyone talking. And finally, we're looking at fantasy football projections for a star wide receiver. Don't go anywhere, this is the Bieber Beat. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. A blueprint for tomorrow's deal. The Atlanta Braves have cultivated a reputation for proactively securing their burgeoning talent with contract extensions, often locking them in at favorable rates. While this strategy isn't foolproof, as evidenced by Spencer Strider's performance post-internal brace surgery, it has frequently paid dividends for the Braves, making it probable they will continue this approach. Drake Baldwin, a leading contender for NL Rookie of the Year, is a prime candidate for such a move. In his initial 92 games, Baldwin has made a significant impact, batting .277 with 13 home runs and an OPS plus of 121, signifying performance 21% above the league average. Beyond his offensive prowess, Baldwin has demonstrated considerable improvement behind the plate, establishing himself as an above-average defensive catcher. The Braves are under no immediate pressure to finalize an extension, as Baldwin still has 2 years before he's eligible for arbitration. However, should they opt to extend his tenure, a strategic blueprint has just been revealed. The Baltimore Orioles recently finalized an 8-year, $67 million contract extension with prospect catcher Samuel Basallo, a deal struck less than a week after his call-up to the major leagues. Basallo, who recently turned 21, is recognized as one of baseball's premier prospects. This long-term commitment came shortly after his debut, a move that generated significant attention, as reported by ESPN's Jeff Passan, who stated, "Breaking. Catcher Samuel Basallo and the Baltimore Orioles are finalizing an 8-year, $67 million contract extension, sources tell ESPN. Basallo, who just turned 21, is one of the best prospects in baseball, and less than a week after being called up, he has a long-term deal. Basallo, at 21, ranks among the top 10 prospects in all of baseball. While he entered the season with higher expectations than Drake Baldwin, outperforming the Braves catcher will be a considerable challenge. An 8-year extension for Baldwin could secure his services for several additional seasons, with an average annual salary just shy of $9 million. This figure represents a highly reasonable rate for a player who has performed at the level of a top 10 catcher throughout his rookie campaign. The contract structure, based on the Basallo deal, would provide significant long-term financial security for Baldwin, while ensuring the Braves retain a crucial piece of their future at a potentially team-friendly cost. This proactive approach allows the Braves to manage their payroll effectively while building a sustainable championship contender, a strategy that has served them well in recent years. But what does this mean for the Braves' future plans? We're also checking in on the AFC with some key team and player updates. AFC power plays and player insights. The Miami Dolphins have recently bolstered their roster by signing veteran outside linebacker Matthew Judon to a 1-year deal. Defensive coordinator Anthony Weaver expressed enthusiasm for the addition, highlighting Judon's potent edge-rushing capabilities. You can't have enough of those guys, right? He's got the skill set, he's a physical presence, and he can win on the edge with both power. He's got a mean power rip move, and he's a really good hand fighter, Weaver commented via Dolphins Wire. Everything he's showing on film is what we look for in our edges. He's a great complement to all the guys we have, and we're thrilled to have him. Weaver drew a parallel between the Dolphins' current defensive unit and the 2012 New York Giants, citing the depth of talent available at the edge and interior defensive line positions. Ask the 2012 Giants, Osi Umenyiora, Jason Pierre-Paul, Justin Tuck, a wealth of edges who can rush, Weaver elaborated. We have guys who can not only rush from the edge, but can produce inside as well. When you pair that with Zach Sealer, Kenneth Grant, and some of the other guys we have, it's really exciting to think about the potential mismatches we can create for offenses. Meanwhile, New York Jets cornerback Qwan'tez stickers reflected on a crucial end zone interception during their preseason loss to the Giants. "We were in man coverage, and he did an inside release, and I just stayed on his top shoulder and looked back," Stiggers shared, as reported by Ryan Dunleavy of the New York Post. "I heard the crowd say, 'Ooh,' when I caught the ball. I saw the ball out of my periphery and was like, 'That's mine.'" Stiggers, currently filling in for injured cornerback Sauce Gardner, calf, and Azaria Thomas, shoulder, views this opportunity as vital for his career development. "It was a great opportunity for me to be able to display my talent and kind of solidify myself in this league, and for this team," he stated. "I'm really excited for this year." Despite the positive highlight, Stiggers also allowed an 80-yard reception in the same preseason game. He remains unfazed, focusing on future improvements. "Something to fix, nothing major," he commented. "It's part of the game. We've got the hardest job in the world. Cornerbacks do everything backwards and forwards. Plays are going to happen. We just have to eliminate the explosives." In New England, the Patriots possess the NFL's largest available salary cap space, exceeding $60 million. Elliot Wolf, the team's executive vice president of player personnel, indicated their openness to making significant trades. "Yeah, absolutely. We're talking to all 31 teams and trying to do what's best for us," Wolf told ESPN's Mike Rios. "I think those things are often a lot more complicated than the fans and some others would like to make you believe. But if there is something we think can help us, we'd definitely be open to it." Addressing speculation that their substantial cap space suggests a lack of contention this season, Wolf emphasized a big-picture view, particularly with quarterback Drake May on his rookie contract. "It's a big-picture view. Also, we have the quarterback Drake May on a rookie contract. I certainly think we spent a lot of money in free agency this year, so I don't think it's indicative of where we think we are as a team," he explained. The Patriots are strategically positioning themselves for future flexibility while evaluating their current roster. Will these AFC moves shake up the league standings? Get ready for a surprising collaboration that's sparking major buzz. Bedtime banter, Drake and Bobbi's podcast tease. In a development that has fans buzzing, popular figures Drake and Bobbi Althoff are hinting at a reunion, specifically teasing a new podcast episode titled, "Not This Again." This announcement comes 2 years after a significant public falling out between the two personalities, adding an intriguing layer of narrative to their latest collaboration. The tease was shared through a clip that shows the former friends walking hand in hand towards a bed, surrounded by the familiar trappings of a recording setup. This visual metaphor strongly suggests an intimate, interview-style format, reminiscent of Althoff's previous viral content. The timing of this announcement is particularly noteworthy. It arrives just weeks after Bobbi Althoff declared the end of her original podcast, The Really Good Podcast, leaving many to wonder about the future direction of her content creation. The "Not This Again" title itself could allude to a variety of themes, perhaps referencing past conflicts, personal growth, or even a meta-commentary on the cyclical nature of online fame and relationships. The visual of them heading into a bedroom setting also plays into the often unconventional and candid style that Althoff has become known for, blurring the lines between personal and public life in her interviews. Fans are already speculating about the content of this new podcast. Given their history, discussions are likely to touch upon their past disagreements, the pressures of online visibility, and their individual journeys since their last public interaction. The renewed partnership, especially in such a personal setting, could offer a unique opportunity for both Drake and Althoff to address their history and reconnect with their audience on a new level. The success of Althoff's previous podcast was built on her ability to elicit candid responses from high-profile guests, often through unconventional interview tactics. If Not This Again follows a similar format, it could once again capture the attention of a wide audience eager to see these two personalities engage in a potentially revealing conversation. The internet is abuzz with anticipation, with many eager to see how this unexpected reunion unfolds and what insights it might provide into their experiences and perspectives. What will Drake and Bobbi reveal in their latest intimate chat? We're shifting gears to the gridiron to talk fantasy football projections. Draft Day Dilemma. Drake London's 2025 Fantasy Outlook. Atlanta Falcons wide receiver Drake London, the 8th overall selection in the 2022 NFL Draft, has demonstrated consistent signs of progression across his 3 professional seasons. As a rookie, he showcased his potential as a future WR1, recording 72 receptions for 866 yards and 4 touchdowns. In his second year, London further refined his game, utilizing his 64 frame more effectively, which resulted in a 9.2% increase in yards per catch. Last season, despite an inconsistent offensive environment for the Falcons, London emerged as a stabilizing force, a testament to his developing maturity as a player. He achieved a significant milestone by catching 100 passes in 2024, scoring 9 touchdowns from 158 targets, a marked improvement from the 6 touchdowns on 227 targets over his first 2 seasons. The critical question for fantasy managers is whether London is poised to ascend to true superstardom and elevate both the Falcons and their fantasy teams in 2025. Optimism surrounding the Falcons' offense is fueled by their performance in the final 3 starts of the 2024 season under Michael Penix Jr., where they averaged 32 points per game, ranking 6th over that span and surpassing the eventual Super Bowl champions. If Atlanta indeed transitions towards a top 10 scoring offense, London, as their standout receiver, is expected to play a pivotal role, hinting at elite upside. A small but encouraging sample size from the end of the 2024 season, with Penix under center, shows London receiving 8, 13, and 18 targets in the final 3 games, with an average target share of 39%. Notably, the Falcons have not made significant additions to challenge London's target share, reinforcing his status as a target vacuum. London's potential is undeniable, evidenced by his draft capital and highlight reel plays that rank among the best young receivers in the sport. Beyond his ceiling, his floor was equally impressive last season. Even with offensive instability, he finished as a top 16 wide receiver in 7 weeks, consistently exceeding expectations. On a per-game basis, London ranked as WR13 last season, a performance that might even be considered on the lower end of expectations for 2025. His fantasy profile saw a substantial leap in his 3rd year, particularly in red zone usage. He saw a target on 40% of his routes run inside the opponent's 20-yard line, up from 29.1% in previous seasons. This figure led the league among 77 qualified receivers at the position. For context, future Hall of Famer Davante Adams, 34.8%, and Amon-Ra St. Brown, 33%, were the only other receivers to surpass 32%. Through 3 seasons, London has accumulated 2 more catches than DeAndre Hopkins did in his initial 3 years, despite running 374 fewer routes. His yardage output is also comparable to Calvin Ridley's first 3 seasons with the Falcons. If Michael Penix Jr. proves to be the quick study the franchise believes him to be, London could represent exceptional value at his current draft cost. While some fantasy analysts might prefer other receivers in a similar draft range, London's profile presents a compelling case. His connection with Penix, characterized by a higher average depth of target compared to passes from Kirk Cousins, mirrors the production of players like Mike Evans. This suggests a potential for explosive plays and increased yardage. London is currently being drafted as a fringe WR1, a projection that aligns with his potential to deliver high-end fantasy production. Pairing him with a solid RB1 in early draft rounds could position fantasy managers for a competitive season, offering both a high floor and significant upside. Will Drake London live up to the hype in 2025? That's a wrap on today's updates, but don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. That's a wrap on today's biggest stories. We covered potential contract extensions, AFC team news, a surprise podcast tease, and fantasy football projections. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the Bieber Beat for more updates, ring that notification bell so you never miss a beat, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. You can also follow us on all social media platforms for even more exclusive content. See you next time.